Welcome to this edition of Head to Head. I'm your host, Cam McKinney, and this is episode number 335 of the podcast. And on this episode, I'm talking about Yankees outfielder Juan Soto's impending free agency. The New York Yankees are once again in the World Series, and the hero of their Game 5 win during the American League Championship Series was none other than outfielder Juan Soto, who hit a clutch free-run home run in the 10th inning in an epic at-bat. And the crazy thing about Soto is he's only 26 years old and has a chance to win a second World Series title with a second team. And all this couldn't be happening at a better time for the young outfielder because he's set to become the biggest free agent on the market this offseason. And what I want to do on this podcast is talk about how it could all play out for Juan Soto. The first outcome is he stays a member of the New York Yankees. The Yankees did everything they could to keep Aaron Judge after his record-breaking 62 home run season, but the difference being Judge had a long history with the organization. Call me old school, but I just can't imagine the Yankees losing out on a high-priced player who may end up helping them win a World Series. I believe if the Bronx Bombers end up losing out on Juan Soto this offseason, it's not going to be about money. It's going to be about something else. I think they are going to be the highest bidder for his services. If they lose out on Juan Soto, what would be the backup plan? He is the perfect partner to Aaron Judge. The real question is going to be, are the New York Yankees willing to make someone other than Aaron Judge their highest paid player? And the answer should definitely be yes, but last offseason there were rumors the Yankees lost out on now Dodgers starting pitcher Yamamoto because they didn't want to make Yamamoto more high priced than their own ace Garrett Cole. Like they believe as long as Garrett Cole is on their pitching staff, he should be their highest paid pitcher. If they have that same belief about Aaron Judge, they are going to lose out on Juan Soto long term. Another scenario which would be crazy is what if the Yankees win the World Series and Juan Soto leaves anyway? He would join an elite company of star players across all sports, winning a title with the team after only 1 year. The list that I came up with includes in the NFL, Deion Sanders with the San Francisco 49ers in 1994. In the NBA, you have Kawhi Leonard in 2018-19, and in baseball, you have Jack Morris in 1991 with the Minnesota Twins, and Pudge Ivan Rodriguez in 2003 with the Marlins. It's rare in sports for a player to win with a team and then immediately leave, because in most situations, the player is obviously happy he just won a title and the team is going to be willing to pay him whatever it takes to bring them back. Juan Soto is such a rare case study because he's in the prime of his career. He has maybe not reached his max potential when it comes to the sport of baseball, which is crazy to say out loud because of how good he already is playing the sport. If it weren't for his teammate Aaron Judge, Juan Soto definitely would have been a legitimate MVP candidate and will probably still be a top 5 MVP when they announce the ranking for that award. So who exactly are the competitors for Soto's services this offseason? Well, the team the Yankees are currently playing in the World Series, the LA Dodgers, are in on every big free agent you could imagine. The Dodgers winning the World Series and then taking the Yankees' second biggest star would be crazy. Here's how I feel. Win or not, the Dodgers this offseason need to invest more in starting pitching. They need a deeper rotation. Clayton Kershaw is inching towards retirement. They need to build up that pitching staff. Yes, if you can get Juan Soto, get him, but you need ace pitching that you can rely on. Tyler Glasnow is currently injured. He's out. The team long-term needs to look at their pitching staff. That's where they should be investing a lot of money in. If I were the Dodgers, I would probably rather bring back Teoscar Hernandez and enhance my pitching staff than sign Juan Soto to another ridiculous contract. You have enough offense. You have Mookie Betts, you have Freddie Freeman, and you have Shohei Ohtani. money. But the Dodgers are going to be in it because they are the Dodgers and they can afford any player. And when you can get a guy like Juan Soto, you probably reach out to him and see if he wants to play for your team. I understand that. I just don't believe that should be that team's top priority. Even if they win the World Series, I think their pitching staff needs major improvements. Another team is the Yankees' crosstown rival, the New York Mets. I would be surprised if the Mets end up with Juan Soto, especially if they let their own star, Pete Alonso, walk out the door. I don't think the new head of their front office, David Stearns, wants to build the Mets by signing a bunch of superstars. I think he wants to build a real baseball team with a 26-man roster that is super deep. And I don't think you build that kind of roster by giving Juan Soto, say, $500 million. I don't believe that's how David Stearns wants to build the Mets. But the Mets have an owner who likes to spend a lot of money, so I understand having the Mets in this conversation for Juan Soto. I just don't believe that's how Stearns wants to build a baseball team. And it's a baseball team that just made it all the way to the NLCS. I believe they want to bring back Pete Alonso. He's a hometown favorite. That's the kind of guy they're going to keep. I don't see them getting Juan Soto, and I don't see them offering him the highest contract. I put the New York Yankees as the top destination for Juan Soto's services because the Yankees need Juan Soto way more than these other teams, and I just can't imagine the Yankees losing out on a player that they are desperate for. It's like when all that talk that Aaron Judge was going to walk to San Francisco, I never bought into it because I believe that the Yankees were going to do everything and anything to bring back Aaron Judge, and I have to believe they'll have that exact same mindset when it comes to Juan Soto. I mean, he is part of their present and their future moving forward. They need Juan Soto, or it would change how you feel about the Yankees moving forward. I mean, they could go to a team that just made the World Series or possibly win the World Series to a team that you would think, can they even make the playoffs next year if they lose out on Soto? Maybe I'm a prisoner of the life that I've lived, but I've never seen the Yankees lose out on a superstar player that they desperately wanted. They wanted Alex Rodriguez. They made that happen. They signed CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira. They made that happen. I mean, when they want a star player, it usually ends up happening. They are one of those legacy franchises you don't bet against when it comes to them getting a superstar player that they want. And I have to believe they really want to bring back Juan Soto. The Yankees to me are like the Lakers. When they want a star, they make it happen. The Lakers ended up with Shaq. They ended up with Kareem. They ended up with Anthony Davis. They eventually ended up with Dwight Howard. Now that's a similar situation in that Dwight Howard was a free agent and he did not choose the Lakers. He went to the Rockets. Now, I believe that is also a very different situation because Dwight Howard was feuding with Kobe Bryant. It wasn't a great fit. Juan Soto has been about as good of a fit as you could imagine he could be on the New York Yankees. I mean, he has cemented himself as the second best player on that team. And a lot of people have said this, that he has become the player that they wanted Giancarlo Stanton to be. I mean, that real guy that you can put right next to Aaron Judge and you can bank on him hitting 35 to 40 home runs a season. You just don't see a player like Juan Soto turning down the Yankees. Like, I just haven't seen it a lot in my lifetime for me to believe that it's a real possibility. And I also don't like the other options for Juan Soto for him as a player. Like him joining the Dodgers, he just becomes another guy. I mean, he's never going to be viewed as the face of the organization because they have Shohei Ohtani. If Juan Soto signs a 10-year deal with the New York Yankees, there's a chance that at some point during that contract, he becomes the best player on the New York Yankees. I mean, Aaron Judge isn't super young. He's going to retire at some point. Juan Soto is 26 years old. By age 32, there's a real possibility he's the best player on the Yankees, and he's the face of one of baseball's premier franchises. And I think Juan Soto's career proves that maybe you're not always the best fit for every team. I mean, Juan Soto was great with the Nationals. He won the World Series. Then he goes to the San Diego Padres, a team that we all thought was super stacked with all-stars and superstars. And then that team underachieved. And for a while there, nobody was talking about Juan Soto like he was one of the best players players in baseball. Then come this year, he's on the Yankees, he's putting up the numbers, the team is winning, and then all of a sudden, we're back to talking about him like he's a top 10 player. And part of that has to do with the fact that he is the perfect fit for the New York Yankees. I don't know how he's going to fit with the New York Mets or the LA Dodgers. I know how he fits with the Yankees, so if the Yankees are willing to give him top dollar, I believe it's in his best interest to remain a member of the New York Yankees. I also look at Juan Soto and I go, do you really want to be on your fourth baseball team by the age of 26? I mean, you're too good of a baseball player. You have a real chance to cement your legacy as a member of the Yankees if you sign a 10-year deal and then you go on to win a few World Series with the team. You become thought of as an all-time great player. I mean, being a member of the Yankees puts you up there ahead of other baseball stars. It's why we all think very highly of Derek Jeter, Mickey Mantle, the list goes on, Reggie Jackson. If you perform as a Yankee, you are going to be viewed as one of the best baseball players of all time, even more so than if you make the Hall of Fame. I understand the financial aspect of all of this. Like, I'm not telling him to go back to the Yankees if they offer him $50 million less than the competition, but if they are somewhere within the same range of somebody who's bidding a little bit more, I still believe it's in his best interest to be a member of the New York Yankees, because this season he's proven he can perform on the highest level with the Yankees. I mean, and that's something that's super rare and you don't see all of the time. And let's not pretend like he hasn't benefited from the fact that he's playing with Aaron Judge as his protection. I mean, he has really benefited from this guy who's hitting close to 60 home runs, batting in front or behind him. I mean, he has benefited greatly from that, even more so than he was playing with the Padres and Manny Machado. I mean, Aaron Judge is an unreal power hitter. And there is a part of me that thinks Juan Soto would be affected more by not playing with Aaron Judge than Aaron Judge would be affected by not playing with Juan Soto. So those are my top reasons why Juan Soto should want to be a Yankee. I mean, the Yankees celebrate their star players better than almost any other franchise in baseball, but also this idea that you need to find a home. I mean, you're not going to be remembered as the greatest national of all time because you didn't spend a lot of time there. Your time with San Diego was up and down. I mean, you found a home with the Yankees, one of baseball's richest franchises. They're going to be able to pay you a boatload of money. I mean, if they're in the range and want to keep you, I think you should want to be there, because you don't want to be one of these great hitters who plays on 6 or 7 teams by the end of your career like Gary Sheffield, because those players kind of don't make the Hall of Fame because you don't think of a team with them. Like, is Gary Sheffield a Yankee? Is he a Marlin? Like, nobody knows how to talk about Gary Sheffield's career because he played with so many teams. The same issue happened with Fred McGriff. He just made baseball's Hall of Fame despite almost hitting close to 500 home runs because he didn't have a franchise we all thought of. He was a Brave, he was a Blue Jay, he was a Padre, he was a Ray, he played for the Cubs, he even played for the Dodgers. I mean, McGriff played with so many teams that it kind of hurt his overall legacy, and I don't want to see the same thing play out for Juan Soto, so I think he should pick a place. I mean, if he signs with anyone, it should be a 10-year contract. It just makes the most sense for him to remain a member of the New York Yankees. The team that I root for, the Boston Red Sox, I believe they're not going to get anywhere near getting close to signing Juan Soto. I don't think they want to give a player this kind of money, even a 26-year-old player. Yes, could you imagine next season if the Red Sox have a lineup that includes Rafael Devers and Juan Soto? I would obviously start to think very highly of the team, but I don't think my baseball team is going to sign that kind of high-priced player anymore. So sorry, Red Sox fans, I don't think it's going to happen. Juan Soto is not going to be on the Red Sox. He's most likely going to remain a Yankee. I believe he's going to remain a Yankee, and I believe both sides need him to be a Yankee. I personally find it very cool when an athlete bets on himself and is proven right. Once upon a time, Soto turned down down over $440 million from his former team, the Washington Nationals. Then he was traded to the Padres, and he was very good there, but it looked like he was going to get less than that amount on his next contract. But this stellar season with the Yanks has made it so he's going to get more. How much more? We shall see. I could see him getting anywhere between $500 and $600 million. But what's interesting about Juan Soto is we really don't know what he wants as a player. Like, did he turn down the money from the Nationals, or did he turn down the organization because he could see that things were going down for them? Like, I have no idea. I know we all have the thought that Juan Soto is going to go to the highest bidder, but he's not going to go to a bad baseball team. Like, I believe that the Mets are in play. I believe the Dodgers are in play. I obviously believe the Yankees are in play. But if some team comes out of nowhere, like this is a team I mentioned last week on the podcast, I think it would be insane if Juan Soto goes to the San Francisco Giants. I believe that is a team that's just desperate for a superstar player. And I don't believe Juan Soto should go to an organization that's desperate for stars. Like if the Angels offered Juan Soto a contract, he should obviously not go to the LA Angels. They are not a well-run organization. But if the Atlanta Braves came out of nowhere and wanted to sign Juan Soto, I obviously think he should consider that. I mean, they are a super consistent organization. Ronald Acuna Jr. paired with Juan Soto, sign me up for that immediately. I just don't see the Braves being in on him. I mean, if the St. Louis Cardinals call, that's an organization that I've admired in the past. I mean, they've been on a downturn the last few years, but if the Cardinals call and Juan Soto goes to St. Louis, I would not be mad at him. I want him to go to a team that I believe could be a winning baseball team, and that's why the Dodgers are there, that's why the Yankees are there, and that's why I think he should avoid the San Francisco Giants at all costs, because it would not be a signing about winning. It would be a signing about, oh, we need to get this superstar in there, and those signings go bad all of the time. That's Albert Pujols going to the Angels. That's Chris Bryant going to the Rockies. Like, you don't want to go to those kind of teams that are just desperate for any star to sign on the dotted line. I mean, go to a team that's actually going to compete, not just now, but in the future. What's a team that I believe that should be in on Juan Soto that probably won't be in on him is the Seattle Mariners. I mean, they have Julio Rodriguez as their star player. I mean, Julio Rodriguez paired with Juan Soto, absolutely that would be a contender right away. And that's a team that was abysmal offensively. That's what the Seattle Mariners need. But can that team afford giving a guy $500 million? That's the real issue here when it comes to teams going in on Juan Soto. That's why only the Dodgers and Yankees can compete for this player, because his contract is so sky high, because we're talking about a sport that doesn't have a cap, and the Yankees and Dodgers are going to do whatever it takes to get this player. And if the Mets are involved, money's not going to be an issue. The last thing I want to talk about is this. I believe when Brian Cashman made this trade, he knew that if things worked out with Juan Soto on the field, that he would make a real effort to bring him back this offseason. I have to believe that Brian Cashman knew that this could play out this way, and that he's going to do everything to bring back Juan Soto. Like, you just don't trade for Juan Soto and then lose him after only one season, especially during a season where he hit 40 home runs and helped lead your team to the World Series. Brian Cashman is too good of a baseball executive to lose Juan Soto. I mean, it would be one of the worst mistakes of his career if he lets Juan Soto out that door. And this is a guy who's won, 5 World Series as general manager of the New York Yankees. He's too good at his job to lose Juan Soto to the New York Mets or the LA Dodgers. That's why I believe that Juan Soto will be playing for the Pinstripes again next season. It's not because I think very highly of the New York Yankees, but I have always thought very highly of Brian Cashman, and he made the right move trading for Juan Soto, and now I believe he'll make the right move re-signing Juan Soto. And this isn't a situation where the Yankees want Juan Soto. They need Juan Soto to remain a relevant organization. I mean, yes, they are the New York Yankees. We're always going to talk about them the same way we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, even when they're not winning. But if the Yankees want to remain a top 5 baseball team going into next season, the top priority is going to be bringing back Juan Soto. If you lose Soto, there is no move, there's no trade, there's no signing that's going to make me feel good about the future of the New York Yankees. The Yankees moving forward need to be built around Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and I believe they will be built around Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. And yes, I would be very surprised if it played out any other way. I would be shocked if by next season Juan Soto is playing for the Dodgers or the Mets. Thanks for listening to this edition of Head to Head. I'm Cam McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so please rate, review, and subscribe.